What's up, fam? Thanks for tuning in once again, or for the very first time. I'm Jasper the Filmy, and usually on Fridays I actually do uploads on tech reviews and gear for the creative community, because according to my YouTube analytics, which is what I go by, most of the followers and subscribers of this channel are young creators with the age range of 18 to 24. That's what the YouTube analytics is. And most of them come from the perspective of being young college students that are majoring in a creative major such as art, theater, acting, cinematography, filmmaking, and they obviously want to learn how to kind of do things in that niche. But I've kind of taken a different approach in this video, because one of the strongest videos on this channel is actually a video that I made a year ago, almost to this day. It was Christmas Day 2019. It was talking about an honor society that I'm a part of called the National Society of Collegiate Scholars. And that video led to a lot of questions from people sending me emails about, college tips and so on and whatnot. And I started finding myself to kind of be like a big brother to some people, which I don't mind doing. So a common question that I get sometimes is just, preparing for college. And obviously this time period of our world has been turned upside down because of COVID-19. So the purpose of this video is to talk to you guys about, how to prepare for college in general, but also thinking about some things with COVID-19 consideration. We don't know what the future will bring, but obviously things have changed because of COVID-19. So this is what I'm going to talk about in this video. All right. So first of all, like I said, I'm not a guidance counselor, or I've never been a college professor. I might be that one day in my career, who knows, but I'm not somebody that claims to be, a role model or someone that, kind of mentors the youth. I'm not that person, but I will say, I have been in college for a long time and I've failed before, and I've passed before. Just to give you perspective, right now I'm working on my master's in this moment on my digital marketing degree at Full Sail University. I'm wearing some Full Sail regalia right now, and I got my bachelor's in media communications. And with that being stated, like I said, I have an interesting perspective, obviously being in school, that can help you if you're that young creative that's getting ready to graduate high school to go to college. And if you're a parent of it, possibly a young creative, doing what you can to help them prepare to go for college. Now, most of the things that I'm going to talk about is more of just the culture of what will lead you to be a successful student. Probably now with COVID-19 being the way it is. So the first thing that I would say to start off would be, gauging, how well you are as a student. That's a really important thing, because I give it to you in this analogy. Literally, if you're an athlete, for example, it takes time to become a skilled athlete, and the same thing as it takes time to be a skilled student. And you have to practice to be an athlete. Like literally, I've been working out recently, and I'm running longer distances now, but literally it took me a while and some serious practice and some serious burn and sweat to start running 3, 4, 5 miles without stopping. And the same thing goes for being a student. Literally when you're in elementary school, middle school, high school, you're going through that process of practicing how to be a better student. And if you're a student that has gotten the AB honor roll, then you've obviously demonstrated to your school that you have those foundational skills that can help you succeed. But if you're, like me, I'm not gonna lie, when I was graduating high school, I was at that C average student on a good day. I was not part of beta. I wasn't taking any AP classes. I took a couple college prep classes, but and I passed them. But hey, look, if you're that young creative that's getting ready to start college, and you aren't really the strongest student, you're not, it's not the end of the world. But I will say there is going to have to be some other skills personally within you that's going to help you, compensate for that. The whole goal of life is to have your strengths and have your weaknesses, and let your strengths help you build up your weaknesses so that you can become balanced. So literally, if you take those things into consideration going into college in general, no matter what time period it is, COVID-19 or whatever the future may bring, you will always be a solid, balanced individual. And if you're a parent watching this with your young one, or you're watching this on behalf of your young one, ask yourself these questions. Literally, what are my son or my daughter's strengths and their weaknesses? Be subjective about it, literally, and think about that when you're supporting them. because, you know, they're not going to be with you, you know, when things kind of come into play. So that's the first thing that I would say. Literally just analyze your college, your student skills. That's the first thing I would say. So another tip that I would give you, young, soon to be college student, would be to learn the industry that you're majoring in. And I say this for a couple of reasons, but one of the first reasons why I say learn the industry that you're majoring in, specifically outside of the college that you're going to be attending, is because college is really a controlled environment. You know, when you're going to a college campus and taking classes, you're going to be receiving information from someone that is either going to be the staunch academic that spent their whole life in the classroom practically, or spent majority of their career in the classroom to get their PhD, with a little bit of field research, but they're going to be, you know, that staunch academic that, you know, pretty much became a professor. Then you will have somebody that is going to be a professional that spent most of their life, you know, working in their field. They probably went through some changes in their personal life that made them decide to do a career change to be a professor. And even with them, they will teach you good anecdotes, just like the academic will, because the academic is good too. But at some point, there's going to be some limitations on their information. So take it upon yourself to learn the industry that you're majoring in outside of the things that you're learning, because with college being a controlled environment like it is, there's going to be just some modern changes that is always happening in your industry. You know, like if you're a filmmaking major, and I'm going to say that because, like I said, most of the people that follow this channel are from the creative majors. If you're a filmmaking major, you might be watching the news and hearing things that's going on in the film industry that might be somewhat different, or might be a different vibe than what is being taught in your classroom. And that doesn't mean that you excuse what you're learning in the classroom, because obviously every industry has standards, but you want to take it upon yourself to, you know, kind of inundate yourself with this industry. After all, you are majoring in it. So if you aren't naturally interested in that industry to learn it, then that might be a sign that maybe that's not the industry for you. So that's one thing why you want to kind of inundate yourself, to kind of see if this can be a reality in your world. The second reason why I would say you will want to build up an understanding about your industry is because you can start to see where you personally will fit within it. And with that, you can, you know, start reaching out to people. The great thing about this era is that we got great technology like LinkedIn, where you can, you know, create your profile and send out an email. You know, if you're taking a major like marketing, for example, that's what my master's is in. There's tons of marketing professionals out there. You could, you know, simply put up together a short email or a short message, be like, hey, I'm a student at so-and-so university and I'm majoring in marketing. I just would like to ask you a couple questions about the industry. Maybe you can give me some tips and some pointers, or maybe we can do a Zoom call. And when you do that, there's a lot of things that can happen from that. Of course, you could gain some information from somebody that's currently working in the industry. Then you could also even gain a connection that can possibly lead to a potential internship, to a potential job. So that's kind of another reason why you want to kind of get into the industry, because, you know, literally, you know, this is the reality of what you're going to do. And you want to not just limit your experiences only to what you do in the classroom and on campus. You want to, you know, be that professional too. You will learn how to be a student when you're on campus, but you also got to learn how to be a professional when you're off campus. This next tip is not going to be an organized one, and I apologize for that, because I know you guys do want clear out thoughts and stuff like that. So I'm gonna try to keep this as organized as possible, but at the same time, it requires a little bit of self-reflection, which is something that, you know, obviously I can't do for you. I can only present it to you. So the question I would present to you, young, prospective, soon-to-be college students, college creative, literally, what type of person are you naturally? You know, are you naturally a planner? You know, someone that, you know, writes things out and, you know, sees them pretty through really good and then helps you get to that destination? Or are you someone that, you know, kind of takes things head on and improvises pretty well? You know, things come at you and you're pretty good in the moment to handle those things. Now, you may not be able to answer that question, you know, especially, you know, if you're 17, 18, you may just need more moments in life to help you affirm exactly the type of person that you are. And that's fine. Don't feel like you have to prove anything to anybody, because your life is your story and your book. But either way, Whether you're the improviser or whether you're the planner, you're going to have to find moments and bring them both together. Because if you're just a planner, if you're going through anything in life, but specifically college, if you're going through the mindset of college that success will go only along as well as I plan, which is part of the truth, but you will set yourself up for failure because what happens if something happens outside of your control. That's part of life. College brings changes in people's lives. Lord knows I had plans that for things that happened in college, and life happened for me, to say the least. But literally, if you think that you're just going to be the planner and that's going to be your success, you get your degree, you'll get the 6-figure job, or you'll get whatever, then you're setting yourself up for failure. And if you're just the improviser, you take everything head on, you're always going to be limited because you never ever will try to, see past, the moment. You will only be that one person in that moment. So literally there will be times in college where you're going to have to, find out which moment is the best moment I need to improvise and which moment is the best moment I need to plan. So those are not necessarily all going to be in relying to you passing or failing a class. It's going to be more in relying to whether you are being, efficient with yourself and management in your time as well. Because in college, there's a lot of moments where you'll kind of be in between things. You'll be in between classes. You'll be in between lectures. You'll just be in between. That's the story of college. And really, the thing is, those in between moments are actually the true testing moments of what you will become. And it's not always about whether you're going to hang out with your friends and party or not. It's simply sometimes just little things that can kind of make the big difference of what impacts your day. So one concluding tip that I will give you in this video, like I said, I don't traditionally do videos like this, but if you want to see another part to this video, just definitely put it in the comments and I'll gladly do it for you. The final concluding tip that I will give you is use college as a tool to learn your purpose and your why. And I know that's kind of a vague tip per se. I'll give you the reason why I say that. It's because sometimes college can get a little misconstrued by both sides. The people that go to college sometimes get the wrong idea sometimes about why they're successful. And then there's people that don't go that get the wrong idea why people that go are successful. Statistically it's proven that a person that goes to college generally earns more income in their lifetime than somebody that doesn't go. But at the same time, there's realities to the fact that there are people that have gone to college that haven't led successful careers. And sometimes the thing that gets misconstrued is the individual. What makes that individual different? Generally, the people that do well in their careers are usually the people that, understand, why they're doing what they're doing, what they want out of life and why it matters to them. And that's something that you have to gain as an individual. This is something that, mom, dad, grandma, grandpa, aunt, uncle can't do for you. This is something you as an individual have to learn for yourself, and that goes with everything that you do, not only just in college, in your career and in your life. You won't have all the answers, 17, 18, you won't, but literally try your best to find those answers. Literally try your best to find the people that are going to help you get to where you need to be, and that goes even with the major that you select. Try to select the major that, is going to help you, possibly get to those goals. You may decide to change that major, and that's fine. Everybody does that. But, start with at least trying to find the answers, and this may be a cold pill to swallow. And this may be a hard message to hear if you're a parent, but gotta say this, literally let your student be who they're going to be, because they're going to somehow or another find out who they want to be. And if they go down a path that's not naturally who they are, they'll come back and say, I wish I would have been that person, or I wish I made this decision. And another hard pill to swallow. Once again, I do apologize, but if you're a parent or a loved one to someone that's going into an industry that you haven't worked in before, you just can't give them advice on an industry that you haven't experienced. You just don't know what you just don't know. That doesn't mean that you can't give them advice as, work ethic and other things, you can give them that advice. But when it comes to certain things in certain industries, you just are not going to know that. And that's not a knock at you. That's just the reality. So that's why I say, if you're that student trying to go into a field, especially in the creative majors, we hear it all the time as creatives, hey, you know what, this is a crazy dream you're chasing, you're delusional. Or if you're pursuing an art major or so, the money isn't that great. And I mean, that's what we hear, but if you understand, what is fulfilling to you, then, ultimately none of that is going to really matter. I did an interview on this same channel with Liesl Tommy. She's the director for Respect, the film that was starring Jennifer Hudson, Forrest Whitaker, talking about Aretha Franklin. I'm pretty sure you've seen that film. She was right here on this very channel, and I interviewed her for my podcast, and she talked about, her journey as a young actress before she became a director, and some of the things she experienced. And I joked with her in the interview talking about her getting, an Academy Award for Best Director. And she let me know, yeah, that's not why I do it. And that's something that's really strong. Literally, if you can understand why you're doing what you're doing, at the end of the day, that's going to be the biggest thing that's going to matter out of everything else. Aside from the money, aside from the status, aside from the piece of paper, you having your understanding for your why is going to really be the big part. I hope you guys did like this video. If you did like this video, do me a favor, just hit that like button to let YouTube know that you did like it. And if you are in the creative field and you would like to hear more tips about the filmmaking industry, get some good reviews on technology that can help you be creative, hit that subscribe button, because I'm always uploading videos on this channel Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. And if you're a parent that may not be in the creative field, but you want to follow my journey, guess what? I actually do reviews on movies that are on Netflix and Hulu and other streaming providers on Mondays. So definitely hit that subscribe button if you like to get a good recommendation on some good movies and entertainment to watch. Until next time, something that I always tell people on this channel is to capture life and create visions.